December 28th, 2025. I'm with Darcy Christian, the CEO of ASHL Gold Corp. Darcy, how are you?
Doing really good. Happy holidays, and I'm excited for the new year.
Excellent. Well, Darcy, on that note, the TAC news will have been out. It will have been dropped by the time that this video is out in the public realm. Um, let's talk a little bit about your holiday because I don't think you're going to be relaxing too much. You're going to be doing some more data compilation.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I've started it now and continuing to work through. Yeah, there's quite a bit of historical work on the property. A company called TreeX had it in the '90s, the late '90s and early 2000s, and or Tri-X, I guess. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but yeah,
One of
they did
those.
they did pretty good work on it. I think there was 10 or so, or probably five drill holes on it of their sort of vintage. There was some older stuff that Cominco did that I think they were looking more for base metals and stuff, so it doesn't really not really applicable. They didn't even assay for gold, I don't think so. But yeah, and then superficially they did a lot of sampling, some trenching and whatnot, and yeah, it seems to be pretty good. I think what did you say the highlight hole is there? Like
Well, that is so it starts at surface 30 meters over 2 grams from a 1990 perspective. So different cutoff. So we'd be
yeah,
wider than that now, lower grade wider.
yeah, yeah,
And then they also use the narrow drill hole. So if we were to re-drill that today, we might be capturing
yeah,
potentially
yeah.
additional mineralization.
Yeah, at least it'll be more representative
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
of the rocks. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it looks like they drilled about 350-meter kind of strike length, quite discontinuous. Like they drilled a couple, 50 meters apart, then they jumped a couple 100 meters over and hit mineralization there. So we're working through the data right now just to make sure everything ticks and ties, and the title is all in good standing and whatnot. It is a patent, as you know. So
Couple
uh,
patents. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's for people that don't know, that provides us a lot more ability to, I guess, hit the ground running with as far as permitting, etc. We can come and drill that as soon as we're ready and able to. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, like patented land transfers the property or the title from the crown to private ownership. And
Yeah.
then in the case of the TAC patents, the surface rights and the mineral rights are transferred to the title holder, which is presently me, but on positive due diligence, it will be ASHL Gold.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
it looks very positive. I don't want to say it's a for sure because I'm sort of on the outside of this.
Yeah.
It's up to Darcy and Shannon and to put together the what's been drilled there. But what we can say, you know, this would be our probably our top project aside from Alto Gardner at this point, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have assay results coming back from Howie that I th- I think it's going to be interesting to see what they are. There's definitely been a lot of fluids through that zone and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there's no VG in it, but we weren't really expecting it.
Yeah.
It seems to be a broader sort of zone. And really, the point of that drill program, I mean, it would be great if we went and hit an awesome grade in it, but um, it's a complicated structural area. So
Very
we need
complicated.
to we need to get some data through oriented core, et cetera, to help us build up a model as to where we go next with that. It's a big area, and it's got a lot of potential to it as well.
Well, that's a great comment as well. Like we're working within probably a surface area of maybe couple, maybe 50 meters squared is where
Yeah,
we're really drilling.
yeah,
And so the upside in this property is sort of exponential, but it like Darcy was saying, it's very complex. Um, and I mean, the core logging is still going on. It's been the holiday season, so I think actually one of the questions we were going to touch upon here from shareholders, let me read that one. How long for the Howie assays? So
Yeah.
This was from Stanley Cups 24 on CEO.ca. I saw it. I didn't reply because I knew we'd be doing this video.
Yeah.
Um, so the holiday season sort of pushed timelines out a little bit. Core cutting is going to be coming up in probably this week. So we might have fresh visuals coming from that. Um, in terms of what we saw initially in the field to core logging, I think definitely some more positive indicators. One of the biggest ones being it looks like we were into a quartz feldspar periphery, which we're referring to as a quartz periphery in what we saw
Perfect.
in the field. Yeah, periphery, but it's looking like a QFP, which
Yeah.
is significant because Thundercloud sits on a QFP, and what we're
Yeah.
looking at the TAC also is in a QFP.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
quite
think,
a
yeah,
yeah, it's quite a common thing in this area and all over the Timmins camp as well. You know, you're associated with these intrusive bodies.
yeah.
Sort of where the mineralization kind of comes up and whatnot. So
So it could be, could be another
yeah,
QFP in the area. Mud Lake, for example, Dryden Gold just hitting on that on surface and channel samples, another QFP. So we might have found yet another one in the Dryden camp. So we'll
yeah,
see what Howie unlocks.
it was surprising to see it for sure. So we'll see what the results come up with. But
Yeah.
I guess as far as the assays, I think if we're cutting them this week, they'll probably go in the new year. Um, it's not like it was when things were slow and you could turn around assays in a couple weeks. It's probably going to be more like 1 to 2 months. So I'm expecting.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I don't even know, like when we were in Act Labs Dryden, it was consistently 3 weeks,
Yeah,
but then when we went over to Gold Mountain, I made the mistake of saying to someone it could be 3 weeks.
yeah,
So, and it wasn't. It was not.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
lab,
yeah,
I think it was like a GAT Labs in Calgary. Holy smokes. I think it was like a month plus. So we
yeah,
don't I don't know where it's going because it's in the core is being cut in Winnipeg. So I don't know which lab it's going to. Um,
yeah.
so I'm going to stay away from putting timelines on
Yeah,
that.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
well,
think,
I think
yeah,
we could say that we're going to probably be drilling our next
this is,
program for the
yeah,
assays.
this is where I wanted to lead shareholders, especially because you're waiting for one catalyst to come in, which would be the assays. That's a big milestone. But what we're going to be doing, whether it's the TAC or whether it's Alto Gardner permitted, we're going to be moving to gather more data from the field and start another drill program. And hopefully
Yeah,
we can hit some stuff like this, you know,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
Alto.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. There's VG there. I expect the permit as early as kind of the middle of the month, but that all depends on the First Nations consultations. We don't want to rush that. Make sure everyone's happy with us doing the work there. So, could be towards the end of January before we
yeah,
actually get the permit, and hopefully we're drilling by February. So
yeah. Well, that's it sort of lines up with when we'd also be expecting to make a move on the TAC patents. So if
yeah, I think so.
assuming we're in the area or we're good on the TAC patents, but that would be a really interesting program.
Mhm.
I think from what we've seen in the data already, if you wanted to step out from either location, so from where the 9910, the high grade hit was, or on the west where, um, what was the 2002 company's name?
I think it was 3X as well, wasn't it? Oh no, it
No,
was
no,
Rio and
Rio something. It
yeah,
sounded a little it's like a
yeah,
Mexican name.
yeah,
Rio something. They hit good gold on the west side, sort of towards Next Gold's property, um,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
scissored two holes from one sort of almost the same collar location.
yeah, yeah.
Good high grade gold. Yeah,
They drilled in they drilled from the I think the 99 kind of drilled mostly from the north
yeah,
to the
they were
south,
drilling south. Yeah,
and they hit good mineralization. O2 drilled kind of a mixture of south
yeah,
and north. It seems like we got sort of. It almost seems like a stockwork because when you start looking through the drill logs, you're getting vein orientations at like 2 to 3 different vein orientations.
yeah,
So that's a positive thing. That probably means that you're getting good grades, in a sort of a larger area instead of one discrete vein. So That's probably why you're getting these wider intercepts and stuff
Mhm.
that we're seeing from some of these holes.
Well, on that note, actually, early in 2025, when Ashley, I wasn't with Ashley yet, but I was on the sidelines. We were active on the Burnt Hut and we intercepted 65 meters of stockwork veining.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, in terms of a possible strike length,
Yeah.
that's about 5 kilometers away from the east end of the tack patterns up to where we drilled on the Oro zone, right?
That's right. Yeah. And then it continues a little bit further east to Burnt Hut Island, has a historic shaft in it and some drilling. Actually, in '99, Trex did a little bit of drilling on the island
On
as
the
well.
island, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, one of the common themes in all of these drill holes in the area, whether it was Triax or what we intercepted, is it's very stockwork oriented, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and when especially in terms of the tack patterns, when the stockworks have good gold associated, then it could become something a little bit bigger, which is what we're hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, I think our first drill program will. Well, on that, as we go forward, I'm assuming that everything's going to check out. That we should have a good indication from that as to whether we just start pounding that area and work on building up a resource. I think it's macro economics. The time
Yeah,
is now. I mean, geez, over Christmas, everyone's going crazy for gold and silver. There is some silver credits in this as well. So,
copper, yeah,
yeah,
low
yeah,
copper, low silver,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So
the
I think,
timing, yeah,
yeah,
the timing of the tack, it's very. I think it speaks to the leadership of Ashley Gold. We were
Mhm.
aware of the tack for a while, but when Kenoreland just massively active just south of us and pushing right up against our boundary, covering water.
Yeah,
So they're obviously seeing something that we saw, and I think it's the sediment contact where the Ruby
Mhm.
Island fault intersects with sediments. They're liking what they're seeing, and I think it's more
yeah.
so base metals on their side.
Yeah, I think so. And that Ruby Island fault, that it's related to the Goliath and Goldland deposits,
Yeah,
which have a couple million ounces in them. And then they've also defined some smaller mineralized zones. The Miller, I think, has a couple 100,000 ounces in it or something like that. So uh, we're definitely in the right jurisdiction, and I'm really excited to continue to explore this area.
yeah,
Um, I think we have the potential to build a resource up and potentially a few either continuous or discrete resources up as we head up to the northeast. That would be a perfect synergy for the current mineralization defined by Treasury or Next Gold.
yeah. No, I agree. And so I've got some questions from shareholders here. Um, Actually, this one's sort of not really company oriented. Well, it could be company oriented. You let me know. What was your personal highlight for 2025 and what are you most excited about in 2026?
Well, I guess for 2025, selfishly, it's bringing, it's kind of rounding up the board a little bit, including yourself. Just getting a little bit more help to uh, to push, getting multiple people to push in the same direction. And I think it's the team that we had that we have was great, but we were lacking in a few areas. We brought yourself on to help with a lot of the day to day and the market stuff. We brought Chris Wolfenberg on to help with with some of the legal stuff that's inevitable in a public company, and then we brought Jody on as well, which has been very useful. He's seen a lot of rocks, so it's been really good.
Yeah.
2026, I think this is going to be a really transformational year for us. That being said, I mean, 2025, we did pretty well. Like, what did the share price do from,
I
I
think it
guess,
was
begin?
Yeah, it was about a 75% gain from 4 to 7.5, but it, peaked out, topped out at 11 in there. So it
Yeah,
was pretty
and I
good.
think, and I really think we're just getting started,
Yeah.
because you know we're doing a lot of the right things. Money was very difficult to come by over the last few years. We started to see it open up a little bit here in 2025, but our last placement was still not easy. Um, but I think it's changing, and the focus is gonna change from finding any money to really finding the right shareholders
Mhm.
to help build the company, because we're not looking to just raise a whole bunch of money and have it pounded out, have the paper pounded out into the market and stuff. We want long-term shareholders that see the vision that we want to do, right. We want
That's
to
right.
build this thing up. So
Yeah.
how about yourself? What were your highlights?
Yeah, I guess very, in a similar sense, I mean, personal highlight for 2025 probably would have been joining. But I mean, second to that, I think when I was out on the Alto and actually seeing visible gold in the field,
Yeah,
I don't think there's much that compares to that, because usually it's, microscopic and it's
yeah,
associated to some sulfides, very common in the area. But when you see visible gold and it's very obvious that it's gold,
yeah,
that's, it
exciting.
even makes me smile now because I really
Yeah,
like it. But so that's
yeah,
sort of what I'm excited about.
yeah,
2026, my whole thing for Ashley Gold is scale and, scale and grade. Can we
yeah,
get it? Because that's where we're going to get a re-rate.
yeah.
That's where we're going to create fundamental value for our shareholders in terms of ounces per share. Some
Mhm.
type of metric where you just have a hard valuation.
That's
Um,
right.
and that's even on the inferred level, like a lower
Yeah,
confidence estimate. There's going to be inherent value creation. I
that's right.
think that in terms of the easiest projects to drill out would be, the Alto Gardner or the TAC, assuming everything works out. And I think that's how we're going to create that fundamental value in 2026. It's going to take a lot of drilling, um, but in terms of dollars raised to value created, I think that's the path forward.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
no,
excited for.
I think so too. I think, like, we I can't remember how many drill programs we've done over the history of the company. There's probably been
Agree?
three. Yeah,
Yeah,
I expect we're gonna do several campaigns this year, would be my guess.
I think
If
so. Yeah.
as long as the market supports it, I think that yeah, I think we can really pound out some meterage and
Well,
work on defining resource. So
that's right. And I mean, the Alto permit that went in, I think we had, I don't know how many pads with each being permitted for up to 4 holes. So that
yeah,
right there, assuming
yeah,
everything hits, I think we can come out of it with a resource. And, assuming
yeah,
funding comes in as well. But even if you have to piece together some of these campaigns over time, I think we're going to be setting the foundation for the right direction.
yeah, yes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk 2026. Where do you see the timelines? Where do you see the company heading in terms of Q1, Q2, and maybe Q3, but it's a little farther out there.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll probably try to uh, close out the due diligence portion of the TAC here in the next. It's going to take up to 2 weeks, but I've got a pretty good start on it already, and I think that if we can kind of close that in the first week or two of Jan, um, that's wonderful. We've got that under our belt. So we should have pretty good news flow up into to when we start drilling Alto. We're fully funded for Alto,
Yep.
so that's gonna be a fun time. We should be able to see, potentially, knock on wood, if we hit the right stuff, we should be able to see some VG in it, like what you're yeah, what you're seeing there. So that'll be exciting for us and for the shareholders, and then
Yeah.
yeah, I foresee going out and drilling TAC this winter as well.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Um, I think into the later Qs, specifically in the summer when a lot of the groundwork's being done, I
Mm.
could see us being active on the TAC as well, maybe doing some more large scale stripping campaigns,
Yeah,
just because it's not no permits required. We can do whatever we want with the square footage. So funding, if funding's not an issue, and drilling isn't the priority in the summer,
Yeah,
I think stripping off a large piece of the structure in between those two drilled out areas, that would be nice.
it's going
We
to help
can
us understand it a lot more.
exactly, yeah, and then we can do channels in the summer to continue driving some news flow, and should be a fairly wide channel sample as well.
Yep.
So
And
I
I,
think,
I also expect our permit, our drill permit for Gold Mountain coming in as well. Still not sure what we're going to do with that. I think potentially we'll be drilling that as well with with
yeah,
funding.
yeah, and I mean Vertebrae Ridge went in. I think it's going through a consultation period right now.
Yep.
So it could be a couple months, but I mean, we could have both permits come in and in time for the summer drill season. So, I mean, we're permitted in Ontario basically across all our properties except the Santa Maria, or will be in terms of the Alto Gardner.
Yeah.
Um, and then, I mean, looking ahead even more, I think our shareholders don't really know this, and some of them will because they look at the old technical reports. Santa Maria has a stockpile on surface. We can look at doing some remediation with that. The Alto Gardner also has, I think, about 150 tons sitting there in two 75-ton piles. Historic reports say it ran 6 grams per ton. So these are two sort of longer term goals where we can reprocess what's sitting on surface for, possibly some cash flow.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
maybe this year, if we get into that in terms of working on the permitting, I think that could also provide some news flow to our shareholders.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how many press releases did we do last year?
I think we did 42. It's one of our most active ways of marketing is telling
Yeah.
our shareholders what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that level of communication, or around that level of communication, is, you know, if you look at the company and you see a quick headline scan, oh, they're doing that. Oh, they're doing that. They finished that. It tells you what we're doing, and we're definitely not a lifestyle company. We're out there
No.
doing the work to try and generate a discovery in a really, really hot district.
Yeah, and I appreciate the shareholders. Like they're part of the team, so they should be, they should be kept apprised of what we're doing.
That's right.
Go forward. We want to keep the excitement going, and we want to show shareholders that the money that they've invested into us is going into the right place. So,
Yeah. Well, on that note, I hope everyone has a really nice New Year. Darcy, we'll stay in touch. We'll keep discussing some things.
yeah,
But we're going to wrap up here. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out.
sounds good. Yeah, yeah. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye bye.